What's up, family? It's Kahir the Conqueror here. Some time ago, a random channel that came was Path Trajectory. Path Trajectory. Something that helped me in life, especially earlier stages, was the idea of assessing path trajectory. Being able to see beyond the present, to think towards the future, to prepare, to be cautious in some way, shape, or form. Like, that can be the difference for many people. So that's something that I did notice about myself young. Sometimes, as I heard the saying, like, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. When people show you who and what they are capable of, believe them. When you take that step back and when you look at things from that perspective of where do I see this going? It's a lot of stuff about like patterns and things like that that I'm not aware of in depth. I can't go on in depth about, but it's real, like the relationship between human beings, the brain, patterns, habits, stuff like that. You can kind of see where something is headed, someone is going based off of patterns, and that's when the path trajectory comes into play. For me, that's helped me change my habits, change myself, make inner changes. Before I even mention anybody else, myself first. Because when you think about, like, if I keep this up, if I don't make these decisions, etc., where do I likely end up? It's like when people ask you in maybe interviews or things like that, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in a couple of years of being with this company, being in this position? What do you see for your future? It's a little bit of goals and ambitions and things like that, but also what trajectory are you heading on? So if you're doing this and you expect to get over here and they don't align, how? But if you're doing this and you expect to get here, it seems like it aligns. So also, I did notice with people, I'm like, these patterns, these habits, this mindset, these behaviors, what's the path trajectory for this person or me associating with these people, this person? You have to think like that. Why, as I will always be a big proponent for reflection, evaluation, self-assessment. Start there before we point fingers and blame and stuff like that, if you can. It's helped me truly avoid certain things, certain outcomes, I'm pretty sure and I believe. But also it's helped me grow and help me focus my energy and efforts towards the person that I envision myself and wanted to grow into, not just by circumstance and happenstance. The people around me or the people around other people, I had to look and take a step back and just think, as time goes on, what is the likely trajectory of this person, of me doing this or being with these kind of people? And what can I do to change? I mentioned in the beginning, like when somebody shows you who they are, it's dangerous not to believe them. And that could also be you for somebody else's situation. Like, just example, somebody's low down, dirty, trifling, cheating, stealing, robbing, etc., like some really bad things. What is the likely trajectory of that person? I'm not saying generalize, but in some situations you might have to make a generalization in order to help yourself. A good parent will say to a child that needs guidance, that needs to hear what a good parent is willing to say, stay away from them. let's say a certain person, or don't date this kind of person, don't be involved with these kind of people. And it might sound like they're hating or something like that in that example, but what I think, if it's a proper assessment of an individual, it's what they see, the patterns, the habits, the behavior, the mindset, the morals, the values, the level of respect, and the likely trajectory of that person, and where they might go in life, or where their potential is leading them, and how can it affect you, their child, their baby. I just think it's really important to assess that, not just in yourself but other people, but not just in other people but yourself also. It doesn't mean that people cannot change. I made a video. People can change. But unfortunately, I feel like it is an anomaly. They're an anomaly. It's the anomalies, rare circumstances where people that are headed in certain directions kind of come back to themselves and improve or change. Like, I learned around like early teens is when people kind of formulate their morals, their values, their ideals, and things like that. And then only in many situations after life-changing circumstances, like a loss of someone, birth of a child, getting married, or other big scenarios like that, is when other things get added to that. So like, people already are who they are, if that makes sense, and we become creatures of habits. People get stuck in their ways, good, bad, ugly, great. What you can do is just assess and look around you. And if you can control certain things within your environment, certain things within your community, your friend group, your relationships, your family, whatever, then it's important to assess the path trajectory. I'm telling you, it's something that has really helped me and saved me in some situations. Not in a doomy, gloomy type of way, but just like, if you want to become like some sort of professional athlete or some sort of elite athlete at some level, what's the path trajectory for you if you do elite athlete type of stuff, type of training, type of studying, film, practice? If you associate with people who only eat junk food and only never exercise, are allergic to the gym, there are certain things that contradict the other. That's an important assessment for path trajectory. Eventually, you got to make a sacrifice. Being in these environments, you kind of have to fit in, if that makes sense. Otherwise, there's no point of being in an environment. Assessing and reflecting on path trajectory can help. And also, like, for your sanity, your safety, your peace of mind, you might have to assess what's the trajectory for this path.